In this video, we're going to set up the IBM Counter Fraud Management, or ICFM, tools client. First, go to this page. Now open up the PowerShell and type cmd. I'll snap my window to the right side of the screen and keep the instructions on the left. Type services.msc, snap that to the right side of the screen. Click Standard, navigate to Remote Registry, go to Properties. Make sure startup type is automatic and then click on Start. And then go to the next page, close this window, type in Control, snap that to the right side of the screen, click Network and Internet, then Network and Sharing Center. I'll snap that to the right side of the screen. Change Advanced Sharing Settings, expand all networks. Now click here on Turn On and then Turn Off, and then click Save Changes. And close that window and this one, and go to the next page. Go back to Control, click User Accounts, click User Accounts, click Change User Account Control Settings, and set this to Never Notify, and then click on OK, click Yes, close that window, and go to the next page. Then close this window, click on Start, type CMD, right-click on Command Prompt Run as Administrator, and snap that to the right side of the screen. Now, just to make this easier with the larger font and the brighter text color, I've gone up to Properties here, and you should do this anyway. Make sure that Quick Edit Mode is selected, even if you don't make these other adjustments, which you can see I've done here. Now, copy and paste this command. And by the way, I'm just copying this, and to paste it, I'm right-clicking just like putty here, thanks to the Quick Edit Mode. The next thing is make sure that you see OK on the far right, and you can now copy this command and paste it in and hit Enter. So here you should see off, off, and off. Now in our case, we are running semantics, so that also needs to be turned off. So I'll go here, right-click, and disable, and then go to the next page. Now, we are not running on soft layer, so we're going to skip this page. Now, go to this page and type Control, snap this to the right side of the screen. Now, type in Administrative Tools, click on that, and I'll snap that to the right of the screen. Double-click on Local Security Policy, snap that to the right part of the screen. Expand Local Policies and click Security Options. Locate this entry here, double-click on it. Set that to Disabled, click OK. It says here that when you restart the client, Windows will automatically reset that value. Although that may not be the case, it isn't in our environment here. You do need to restart the computer after having changed the UAC, or the user account control settings, and you'll occasionally get a pop-up window or a balloon down here telling you the same. So now's as good a time as any to go ahead and restart the computer, and then we'll also check this value. So I've restarted my machine, and I've made sure that I have this still set as disabled, and then I'll click on Start, go to CMD, and right-click, and make sure that it runs as Administrator. And we'll go back to Control, and Administrative Tools, Local Security Policy, Local Policy Security Options, and you can see that once we load User Account Control Run all administrators in admin approval mode, it's still disabled. So in other words, the reboot should not have made an impact here. Now click OK. Locate this, double click, make sure it says enabled, click OK. Then go to guest account status, double click, make sure it says enabled and click OK. And then close that window and close this window. And then go to the next page, and now you can skip since we did the server installation in a separate video. So keep hitting the right arrow until you get to this page. Then make sure the user account that you're going to use to do the installation is a member of the administrators group. A simple way to do that is type in lusermanager, localusermanager.msc. Then go to users. You can see the users we have here. Go to groups, go to administrators, and you'll notice the current user is a member of the administrators group. Okay, now close that, and you can go on to the next page. Now, be sure that you've downloaded the zip files for ICFM client software somewhere that is available by this machine here, the Windows machine. Then open up the C drive and create this directory here, like so. Then select those 3 files, right-click on them, and drag it down here. Then let go, hit the extract button or option, and then remove this last piece for all of those files so that they are extracted into the root of C distribution media, and hit enter. And just to clarify, that's a right drag, not a right click, but a right drag, and this should be the result of the first one. The next thing you'll have to do is remove this piece from the next file and hit enter on it. Once that file is done uncompressing, remove this last piece from the third file and hit enter, just like before. So once that's complete, there'll be no subdirectories. Everything's extracted into C distribution media. Now navigate to the C drive, and now right drag that file into the root of the C drive and click extract. And like before, we're going to remove this last piece so that it goes into C and hit enter. And you'll see a progress bar like this, and then a CFM 20 folder like that. Now let's go to the next page. Now locate this file and double click on it to start the installer. Then click on OK, and then click on Next, and accept all of these defaults and click Install or Next to start the installation, which should look like this, and once complete, look like this. Now go back to the command prompt, make sure this is running as administrator, type control sysdm.cpl. That will open up system properties. Now make sure the name of the computer is accurate. I'm going to use client, and like before, this will be the short name as listed for the computer name, and then under more, I'm going to make this IBM.com. Then click on OK. You'll need to restart the computer, which I'll do now. So close and then restart now. So now I've rebooted this machine. You can now go to control sysdm.cpl, 3, which really just loads the system properties and takes you to the third tab, and you can confirm that the computer name is now updated. The third tab is what we want because you have to go to environment variables and then go down to Java Home, which you won't see, so you have to create a new one. So you click new and enter Java Home and enter the value, which is highlighted on the left, and you just paste it in here. Then click on OK and OK, and you'll need to close all of your command prompts. So I've closed mine, click Start, type CMD, right click, Run as Administrator, and I've snapped mine to the right side of the screen. You don't have to restart the whole system, but you do have to restart the system that is the command prompt, because the command prompt won't pick up the environment variables that you set, so you have to close it and open that part up. Now go to the next page. Now copy this path here and paste it into Notepad++ in the open command prompt, or dialog box I should say. Then I'll shrink this down a little bit. Mine is set to the C drive, you can tell here. I'm going to use the silent option later, which means we need to provide values here. So I'm going to change this value from hostname to client.ibm.com. The client account will go to IBM admin, and the password will be counterfraud1. Now, this password has to be the same password that you're using. I'm going to hit Control-Alt-N to change that password since I'm in a remote desktop session here. And then I'm going to hit Enter. And because I had to change my password here, I'm going to restart the computer, just in case because of the Windows tokens. Okay, I've restarted the computer. Now I'm going to ping myself, make sure that that works, and I've already done a ping client 4, which will give you the IP address in IP version 4. Make sure that that matches the same value in your hosts file for the same machine. Okay, make sure you save this file. Now copy this path and open it in Notepad++. Then verify steps 5 and 6. Mine look like this. And move on to the next page. Open up your command prompt. Now do a cd into that directory. Now run this command here, which should output information like this. And to save space, I'm going to remove these server files, which we no longer need. Now, if your installation fails at this step because of a JavaNet connect exception, then open up PowerShell and enter this command, hit enter, and then hit Y. Now minimize that window, hit CLS or not so you can see your previous log output, and rerun the installer. And notice how we've moved on to the next step. Once the installation has completed, it should say command completed successfully, okay, and installation successful. Now open up PowerShell, enter this command, hit enter, and Y to confirm it. Now that we've completed installing the client, the next step is to configure it. Now, wherever you're watching this video, go to this video, how to install ICFM 2.0.0.1 Part 2 client, because the instructions that are in this video are word for word the same instructions as you'll find in the version 2.0.0.3. So, for example, if I go to 3 minutes and 17 seconds and then skip forward to this next page, here we are importing a self-signed certificate from ODM Rule Designer, importing a self-signed certificate for ODM Rules Designer. And the same applies if I scroll to the right here with video part 3, which is how to install the supplemental server. That is also the same for 2.0.0.3, so you can watch that video for those instructions. And lastly, part 4, verifying the installation, including the hello world. You can watch the part 4, which also applies to 2.0.0.3. So 2.0.0.1's part 2, 3, and 4 also apply to ICFM 2.0.0.3.